The Zephyrian High Command had received 17 warnings over the past solar cycle. Each message carried the same insignificant seal, a blue marble suspended in the void, with primitive geometric patterns representing what the senders called continents. The communications were crude, transmitted through archaic electromagnetic frequencies rather than quantum entanglement networks. Attention unknown vessels, the latest transmission had stated in broken galactic standard. This is the Terran Defense Coalition. You are approaching restricted space. Turn back immediately or face defensive action. Admiral Kethavar had dismissed it with the same contempt he showed all inferior species. The Zephyrians had conquered 43 star systems in the past millennium. Their crystalline exoskeletons could withstand plasma fire. Their ships moved faster than light itself, and their weapons could crack planets. What threat could a single world of soft, short-lived mammals possibly pose? Prepare the harvesting fleet, he had commanded. These humans will make adequate slaves once we demonstrate our superiority. Now, as his flagship Eternal Dominion led a battle group of 300 vessels toward the third planet of the system these primitives called Sol, Kethavar felt nothing but anticipation. Intelligence reports indicated the humans had barely achieved interplanetary travel. Their weapons were chemical-based projectiles and crude energy beams. It would be over quickly. The first anomaly appeared at the edge of what humans called the Kuiper Belt. Admiral, his sensor officer reported, chittering nervously, "We're detecting massive gravitational distortions ahead." "Asteroid field?" Kethavar asked dismissively. "Negative, sir. These readings are artificial, structured. There appear to be thousands of objects, each roughly the size of a dreadnought, positioned in a defensive sphere around the inner system." Kethavar's mandibles clicked in amusement. Orbital fortresses. How quaint. Target them for elimination. The first salvo of plasma torpedoes streaked toward the nearest human construct. The weapons, each capable of vaporizing a city, struck their target and dissipated harmlessly against shimmering energy barriers. "Impossible," Kethavar hissed. "What kind of shielding technology?" His question was answered when the human stations returned fire. The beams that lanced out weren't the crude lasers intelligence had predicted. They were focused streams of antimatter, guided by gravitational lensing that bent space itself. The first Zephyrian destroyer simply ceased to exist, its atoms scattered to cosmic dust in a microsecond. "Evasive maneuvers," Kethavar roared, but it was too late. The human weapons tracked with impossible precision, each beam finding its target despite faster-than-light evasion attempts. In 30 seconds, his vanguard of 50 ships was reduced to expanding clouds of superheated plasma. "How?" he whispered. "They're primitives." His communications officer's voice trembled. "Admiral, we're receiving another transmission from the planet." A new voice crackled through the speakers, older, wearier than the previous warnings. "This is Admiral Chen of the Terran Defense Coalition. You've just encountered our outer perimeter. This is your final warning. Leave now, or we will demonstrate why every other species in this galaxy learned to avoid human space." Kethavar's rage overrode his tactical sense. "All ships converge on the third planet. Show these mammals the price of defying the Zephyrian Empire." The surviving fleet pushed deeper into the system, past Mars, past the asteroid belt where hidden human mining stations tracked their every move. They advanced toward Earth itself, expecting to face a desperate last stand by a cornered species. Instead, they found themselves entering a carefully orchestrated killing field. The attack came from everywhere at once. What Kethavar had mistaken for primitive space debris revealed itself as a network of interconnected battle stations. Each piece of apparent wreckage split open like a metallic flower, revealing weapon systems that violated every law of physics the Zephyrians understood. Gravity wells materialized around Zephyrian ships, crushing them into singularities. Space itself seemed to fold, bringing human weapons into point-blank range regardless of distance. Beams of pure energy, somehow converted from dark matter itself, tore through the fleet like paper. But the humans' greatest weapon wasn't their technology, it was their coordination. Every station, every ship, every platform moved as a single entity. The humans fought not as individuals seeking glory, but as a collective organism defending its nest. They sacrificed entire battle groups to create tactical advantages, coordinated attacks across light years with split-second timing, and adapted to Zephyrian tactics faster than evolution should have allowed. "Sir," his tactical officer screamed. "They're using our own quantum entanglement networks against us. Somehow they've hacked our communication system and are feeding false orders to our fleet commanders." Kethvar watched in horror as his own ships turned on each other, following what they believed were legitimate commands. The humans had somehow penetrated technology that had taken his species 10,000 years to develop, and weaponized it in minutes. As the Eternal Dominion shuddered under withering fire from weapons that shouldn't exist, Admiral Chen's voice echoed through the command center one final time. "You want to know how, don't you?" the human said, his tone almost sympathetic. "Every species asks the same question when they ignore our warnings. The answer is simple: we learned from you." Images flooded the Zephyrian command screens, recordings of previous invasions. The Krell Empire's assault on human colonies 2 centuries ago. The Void Hunters' attempted conquest 50 years past. The Zephyrians saw their own kind's historical attacks on human settlements dating back millennia. "You see," Chen continued, "humans have a unique trait among galactic civilizations. We learn from our enemies. Every tactic you used against us, we studied. Every weapon that harmed us, we improved. Every strategy that defeated us, we perfected. Congratulations, Admiral. Your predecessors trained us well." The truth struck Kethvar like a physical blow. The humans hadn't developed their technology in isolation. They were students of warfare, taught by every species arrogant enough to attack them. Each failed invasion had made them stronger, more prepared, more dangerous. The Eternal Dominion's hull buckled as gravity itself was weaponized against it. As his flagship collapsed into a neutron-dense sphere, Kethvar realized with crystal clarity why the warnings had been so persistent, so urgent. The humans weren't protecting themselves from invasion. They were protecting the galaxy from themselves. In his final moments, Admiral Kethvar understood why 47 species had learned to avoid the small blue world, orbiting an unremarkable yellow star. The humans had been contained by mutual agreement, not imprisoned but quarantined. Every species that had ever encountered them had eventually reached the same terrifying conclusion. Humanity wasn't humanity's greatest threat. Humanity was everyone's greatest threat. The last thing Kethvar heard before his atoms were scattered across space was Admiral Chen's weary voice. "Add the Zephyrian Empire to the memorial," another species that had to learn the hard way. In the depths of space, automated beacons updated their warnings in 47 different languages. Danger. Avoid Terran space. Species contained for galactic safety. Approach at your own extinction. The quarantine held. As it always had. As it always would. Because sometimes the monsters aren't locked in to protect them from the universe. They're locked in to protect the universe from them.